Hi y'all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. So today guys, I'd asked you in my Sephora haul video if you wanted to see a standalone review of the HAUS Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. Quite a few of you said yes, so I'm like, you know what? I'm getting dressed today. I'm gonna sit down. I'm just gonna film a little wear test video. This will be my second time wearing this. The first time I wore it, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna apply it on camera for you. We're gonna talk about this product in the very confusing shade range, and we're gonna do an end of day wear test. So let's get into it. I'm zooming you guys in. I don't want to zoom you too close because I want to zoom you further so you can see everything, but while I'm applying it, I'm gonna just zoom you in a little bit, just a little bit, and then we'll zoom in even further. All right, so just to give you some background on this, this is, like I said, the HAUS Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. That is such a mouthful. I have the shade 330 Medium Cool. This is supposedly a medium coverage foundation, which I question. I think it's more natural. Buildable. When I applied it, I don't apply a ton of foundation. Let me just give you my philosophy about foundation. I'm not the type of person who will apply a ton of foundation on my face. I've never been that person. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the look of it. Even when I was wearing full coverage, I used a little bit of full coverage. So for me, the coverage that I got from this was quite, I would say light to light medium, but I was okay with that. So I have one pump on my hand. I'm applying this to my face now. And by the way, my skin is prepped. All I have on is sunscreen. But other than that, there's, you know, in my skincare, like my moisturizer, eye cream, all that good stuff, but nothing else. So this is one side of my face. Let me do my nose. And for reference, I don't generally take foundation up to all the way to my hairline. I just don't. I don't like the look of it, but for purposes of this review, I will take it up a little bit. The reason for that is my forehead is actually quite darker than the rest of my face. So something will match here. It won't necessarily match up here, and it'll just like I'm wearing too light of a foundation, even though it looks fine everywhere else. So generally, if I do take it, I take it just like above my eyebrows, and then I go in with bronzer, and it kind of evens everything out. So this is one side of my face, and that was one pump. This is quite a liquidy foundation, if you can see that. It's quite liquidy, it's quite thin. So I would say you probably would need 2 pumps to do your whole face, just because it's so thin and liquidy. But as you can see, it's not giving me like heavy coverage, if that makes sense. You know, it doesn't look like I'm applying a mask to my face. And the match is actually pretty decent. I'm gonna blend this all in, and then I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see how this looks laying on my skin. So I don't know if you can see that, but it just gives this really beautiful skin-like finish. And as you can see, I have some acne scarring here, but it gives me coverage, but it's not covering everything. And I'm okay with that. If I really want to cover that up, I usually go in and I spot conceal. I don't really rely on my foundation necessarily to do that, because I feel like that's when things can get a little heavy looking. But yeah, look how pretty that is. And it has a natural like glow to it that's really pretty. Really pretty. All right, so that is, and I'm just gonna take what's left on my hand and apply that. So that is 2 pumps, one for either side of my face. And again, I'm only taking that up to here, and I usually don't even do that, but I'm just doing that for the purposes of the video. And zoom you back out. All right, so yeah, this is one pump. Like I said, very liquidy. It doesn't have any scent to it. I don't smell anything. when I apply it. So it doesn't have, if you're worried about like scent, that's not an issue. I would also say that last time I wore this and I didn't powder. And it wasn't that I was just against powdering. And let me just say this, I haven't really been a powder girl as of recently anyway, because I just haven't been loving the way it's been laying on my skin. And I think it's just, I need to find a lighter powder. The powders that I'm using are more on the matte side. And I think I'm looking for more of a natural setting powder or finishing powder. But I think I will set it a little bit today, just around here and around here. But I'm going to apply my concealer. I'm using my Kosas, and this is in the shade, or tone as they say, tone 07. And I'm using my new Sephora, one of my new Sephora brushes to do this. Which is my first time using this brush, and it's applying nicely. I was a little afraid that this is going to be like a bit big for me, but actually it's kind of perfect. This is the one I bought by accident, by the way, not the one that I was trying to buy. I still have the other one that I was trying to buy, but oh, I like that. That's a lovely, lovely combo. Isn't that pretty? Look how skin-like that is. And again, I'm still quite shiny, but we'll put a little powder on it. It'll be fine. All right, so now I'm going to apply some bronzer, all that good stuff, all of my makeup, and I will. All right, guys, so I am back. I applied the rest of my makeup. I have on, just so you know, I am wearing the Bliss Beauty bronzing stick in the shade Harmony. I am wearing the Tower 28 Beach Please blush in Power Hour. And I am wearing, where did I put it? Oh yes, the Too Faced Melted Chocolate Matte Liquid Eyeshadow in Warm and Fudgy, and the Gen C Beauty mascara, which I think it's called Spectator Sport mascara, which has grown on me. I wasn't really a fan of it when I first started wearing it, but it's been growing on me. I think it's just because the formula's getting a little bit older, so it's kind of just hitting that sweet spot. On my lips today, I am wearing Dose of Colors Cork with my little baby ColourPop Lippy Pencil in BFF3. And I'm probably going to apply some gloss over this because I kind of want a glossy lip today. Yeah, but in the meantime, I wanted to get back on camera. I haven't powdered my face yet, so I want to show you what I've been doing in general, but also what I think I'm going to try doing for the first time with this this foundation, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't powder it the first time I wore it. So I'm going to be using my Chantecaille, and this is the Perfect Blur finishing powder, and I've got my little Linda Hallberg, or LH Cosmetics rather, little powder puff, and I just tap into that, and I'm just gonna press that just around the areas where I don't want to be super shiny. I don't know what I'm doing there under my eyes, in between here. And as you can see, that actually brought the shine down quite a bit, but it still has, my skin still has glow. And that's also because I am wearing only cream products today. Like everything on my face is cream, even my eyeshadow. So yeah, so this is the finished look for today. Now let's talk about the foundation itself and just like the details about it. So it retails for $45. It comes in, I think it's 50 shades. I will say that the thing that scared me off from this foundation when it first released, because when it first released, I was going to pick it up right away. The thing that scared me off was the shade range, because despite it being a really large shade range, the way that it is laid out is so confusing. And not only that, but the descriptions for the foundations are strange. So this says this is 330 cool. If you look at my skin tone, if you're looking at me now, do I look like I have cool skin to you? I do not. I have neutral skin with a yellow golden undertone. Not super warm, but slightly yellow golden undertone. That is not cool. And yet this is pretty much a perfect match for me. So I think that their categorization of undertones is completely off. And I know from comments in my own, you know, on my own videos when I've mentioned this product and other videos that of other creators that I've seen, that people are scared off by the shade range because you just can't figure it out. Like, I tried for a while and then I just kind of gave up. And then I saw a couple of reviews and they were good reviews and some were like a little like not good. So I was like, I'm curious enough to really want to try this. So let me really just figure this out. So I decided to trust the Sephora Shade Finder, which I usually don't because the Sephora Shade Finder is whack. But I trusted the Sephora Shade Finder. It told me my shade was 330 Cool. They actually got it right. It is definitely my shade and I think it's a spot on shade for my skin. So yeah, I will, and let me just show you a picture of who they say is my match because I think you guys are going to be like, what? So this is the person that they say is my match. 330 is described as medium cool, but when you look at the details, it says medium with golden olive undertones. Golden olive undertones. How is that cool? Pourquoi? How is that cool? It's not. It should just be called 330 medium with golden olive undertones. What's the point in the cool? It doesn't make any sense. Like the picture of the model throws me off, and then look at the swatch next to her. That is a cool toned foundation. So they're showing me what she looks like, which looks nothing like the swatch that's attached to the photo. It's confusing. And I think they need to sort of rejigger that a little bit. I think they need to reconfigure that system because I think it's throwing people off. And I think more people would be apt to try this foundation. And I'm not saying that like Haus Labs is hurting for like business with their foundation. That this foundation has been talked about a lot. I am a voice among a chorus of many as far as this, you know, reviewing this product. But if you are just a layman buying a foundation and you're looking at these photos of the model and then the foundation and the foundation doesn't even match the model, how are you going to know if it's going to match you? Like, I don't think I look as cool, as warm as or as golden as the model, and I certainly am not as cool as the foundation swatch. So it's a little like, look at this. These are two different, like what? That doesn't make any sense. It's confusing to people and it's gonna scare people off. Outside of all that, this is gonna be my second time trying this foundation. So I mean, I guess I will call this a 2-day wear test, or maybe, yeah, I'll call it a 2-day wear test because I wore it as a sort of test for one day, and I'm gonna do it again, and this time I'm powdering. So let's call this a 2-day wear test. And just to see how I feel about this foundation, I wore it all day. The first time I wore it from, I want to say 9:30 a.m. to almost 9 p.m. and I took a nap in it. I will say that I don't feel like it, because it's such a sheer kind of product, it didn't look like it faded, but of course it could have faded, but because it's not giving you like super heavy coverage, even if it fades, it doesn't look bad. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like you're missing chunks of foundation from your face. At least I didn't feel like I was missing chunks of foundation from my face. I laid down. I was wearing a hoodie. I took a nap with my hoodie on and I was like, ah. I woke up and I still looked pretty decent. The only thing that faded was my cream blush, which I'm not surprised by because cream blush does fade faster on me than powder blush. As much as I love cream blush, it just doesn't last as long on my skin. And also I didn't set it. You know, and I'm not going to set it today. So, because I like where my skin is at right now. Like, it's very, the foundation, I can feel it when I touch my skin. Like, but it's not sticky. It doesn't feel tacky. I don't feel, it's not heavy. It's an incredibly lightweight formula. It doesn't feel heavy. But yeah, if you don't want to touch your face and feel your foundation, then set your whole face. I try not to touch my face a whole lot because that's a bad habit of mine and it would often cause breakouts. So I'm not going to be trying to touch my face too much anyway. So I'm not too concerned about that. But it doesn't feel wet on my skin is my point. Like, it feels, you can feel it when you touch it, but it doesn't feel wet. It doesn't feel like it's gonna slippy slide all over the place, at least for me. And it didn't feel that way the first time I wore it, even though, you know, I even got comments that my skin looked really wet. which it did. I was loving my glow that day. I loved the way my skin looked that day. But as the day wore on, it still looked really good, and it didn't get greasier or oilier looking. It just kind of stayed the same, which was lovely. Now keep in mind the climate that I am in right now. I live in a city where the weather changes on a dime. That particular day that I wore that foundation, we had high winds, like winds to the point that we had a wind advisory, and tree trunks were like, you know, branches of trees were like hanging in the streets. That's how high the wind was that day. So who knows? Maybe that kept my skin from being super oily. All that wind in my face. I don't know. Today is supposed to be colder. Don't have high winds, but we'll see how it does, you know, because again, the air is drier. We're getting into the colder, you know, climate, especially today. It's much colder than it was that day that I wore it. So we'll see. We'll see if not setting it will keep the skin looking really fresh. You know, I don't like dew, even though I feel like this does give me a dewy feeling, like a dewy look. I don't feel dewy. Like when I say that, I look dewy, but I don't feel dewy. And that's really, that for me is the key, because I don't mind looking dewy, but I don't want to feel dewy. I don't like the feeling. I like glow. I don't like feeling greasy, dewy, wet. I don't like that. And I don't feel like I don't feel wet when I'm wearing this. Like my face doesn't feel wet. So yeah, that is my check-in. What time is it? It is 8:27 in the morning, guys. Yes, Mads Mikkelsen is my background. Anyway. 8:27, so let's say 8:30, and I will check in. I will try to remember to check in midday. I can't promise. I am taking my baby boy to the vet, so today is kind of a stressful day for me. We're doing his follow-up after his little emergency visit, so to say I'm a little stressed is an understatement. So I don't know if I'll be able to remember in the middle of the day while I'm there to do that, but I will definitely be checking in later on today. So see you then. All right, guys, so I am back. I just literally took my glasses off, so that's why I'm doing that, because I'm trying to see if I have any, which I usually do. I have some, you know, indentations on my nose for my glasses. So it is now 5:40. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's 5:41. So I've had this on, let me see. I've had this on for 9 hours. I'm ready to wash my face, though. It's been a long day. I did not manage to get any photos or footage of me midday because, again, like I said, I was going to the vet with my cat, and I just logistically, I just didn't have time to do that. But this is what I'm looking like 9 hours in. I do have a bit of a patch missing here, but I'm going to tell you that this happens all the time. I have acne scarring here, and makeup wears funky on this spot of my face. It always has, and it probably always will. So I don't really attribute that to anything other than, you know, the way my face is set up. My blush and bronzer for the most part are still on, except for that like little patch there. I am shinier, but I'm not greasy to the touch. I just gotta have a little shine coming through. But I don't think it's bad. Like I don't think it's, yeah, I'm not mad at it. Like my natural oils are coming through, but also this foundation was pretty glowy when I put it on, and I feel like it maintained that. I did, like you guys know, I powdered all under here. I wasn't particularly happy with how it looked powdered over time though, and I'll just see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see here, but it's a little like heavy, and I don't know if it's still showing that, but just like right in here, it feels a little heavy, and that is where I put the powder. So again, like I said, I'm looking for a powder just in general that's a little bit lighter, not as heavy on my skin. The Chantecaille powder isn't super heavy, but I feel like it's not light. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not because it's a blurring powder, I think it has a little bit of heft to it. But it's not a mattifying powder per se. It's definitely like a blurring finishing powder. So yeah, so this is what my face looks like. Just to let you know what I've done. Like I said, I went to the vet with the kitty cat. He got lots of tests. Got his like annual. He brought him home. Well, stopped for lunch. Had some pokey. Delicious. Stopped at Petco. Picked out some cat food. Came home. Ate my lunch. Fed the cat. relaxed. Took not really a nap. I did lay down for a little bit just to relax a little bit. And again, when I lay down to take a nap, I am often in a hoodie in my house because I love hoodies and sweatshirts. Like, that is my jam. So I was kind of like this, and that might have facilitated with this being rubbed off, but it was like my hoodie was like here, not here. You know what I mean? So I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think that's just my scarring. But yeah, this is what my face looks like after 9 hours and some change of wearing this foundation, and I'm happy with this. Like, I am not someone who feels, unless I'm doing something like I'm at an event or it's a wedding or something like that, I'm not the type of person who feels like my makeup needs to look exactly the way it looked when I applied it eons before or eons earlier. You know, I think those expectations are a bit kind of ridiculous, because we're moving about, we're living our lives, we're touching our faces, we're taking naps, we're eating food, you know, we're, you know, depending on what the elements are like outside. Like today it was cooler, but not as windy, so I feel like my skin was maybe a little more oily than it was on the day that I wore it, where it was super windy, and I felt like my skin was kind of being like dried out a bit. So yeah, for me, I just want my makeup to last while I'm out doing the things that I'm wearing. You know, like if you go out and you do your makeup, I want my makeup to look good for the time that I'm out. But once I come home, I don't really care. You know, unless I'm taking pictures or I'm like filming a video. And I've sat down in front of the camera with you guys, having worn my makeup all day long, and sat down and filmed a video. I'm doing it now. I've done it a bajillion times before. I personally don't mind that. I don't think that we have to necessarily be perfect on camera all the time. And I also think it's good to see makeup look like makeup that you live in, as opposed to makeup that you're just putting on for a video for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is what my face looks like. I'm perfectly happy with this. I am still enjoying this foundation, and I'm going to continue to wear it. If I have any updates, I might update with a pinned comment. I don't know. But I'm going to continue to use this, and I am doing a get ready with me or demo with some new products. I did wind up placing a third order from the Sephora sale. Actually, I placed 2. This is terrible. This is terrible. Don't judge me. Don't at me. There were reasons, okay? The first order was actual last minute things, and then I had an idea for a video, so I needed a product for that video. Thank you very much. But then the second thing was the new Natasha Denona dropped on the Sephora app a day early, and I was like, I'm gonna get that 20% off. You know? So yeah, so I placed 2 orders. Things are coming, and I might do a get ready with me. I'm definitely going to do a standalone review of the Natasha Denona palette though for you guys. But yeah, this is what my face looks like. 9 and some change in, and I'm perfectly happy with this. Yeah. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think? Are you interested in this foundation? Do you own it? Has your experience with it been good, bad? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.